You are about to watch a live sales call between me and our client who is looking to integrate an AI agent to handle all of their catering requests across 200 plus locations. You will learn what businesses are looking for right now and what they can pay money for, how I am pitching my services in a way where I'm not just trying to make the money, but genuinely help them out, and how we are planning to build this system up. At the end of the video, I will go over the whole setup that we're planning to use. By the way, if this video will get 120 likes, I will create a live walkthrough of the final demo that we're gonna present. Last video didn't get the 100 likes, so I'm not posting anything. Again, you know the rules. Put the like and I'll do the thing. Briefly, we are going to build the engine on the VoiceFlow for voice and text-based interactions. And since this is the omni-channel thing where we're going to deploy it through the SMS, web chat, and voice, we're going to use our own one prompt omni-channel agent here that already has most of the things built in. And also we're going to use our advanced chat option where we'll probably deploy the web thing through this specific interface so that they have access to additional analytics and conversations. Again, so stay tuned for that. Let me know if you have any questions. 120 likes. In the next video, I will show you the actual live demo, and enjoy watching.
So yeah, I mean, this is just a call to check with you if you had a chance to talk to your guys and if you want to start with the prototype that I was gonna look.
Yeah, so coming sort of from your side and then pitching to restaurants, I don't think I'm as good pitching internally to a CEO whose mind is on 100 things. So even though I came to him and said, "Hey, we discussed having an MVP," it didn't really resonate. So I think his main concern, Eugene, is after we put 5 grand, 10,000 into this, he wants to know what his ongoing costs would be on a platform like VoiceFlow before he starts to really start to invest. Whereas I come at it from, you've got to have a core product to find out if it solves the pain point and then discover how you're going to leverage it. So it really wasn't my, I'm sitting down with him going through a litany of things that I'm tasked with on a weekly basis, and it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't great, to be honest. Wasn't he just didn't understand. Just because we have a telephone bot that we're testing in another thing, so I don't think he put the two together that this is to centralize catering. So your proposal, I think, was 5,000. It was just verbal, right?
What do you mean verbal?
I don't see your follow-up with the proposal. Did I miss it?
No, so I would need to have like a clear picture from you, just because we're gonna like create the personalized.
Oh, you actually didn't give me a number. Sorry. Apologies.
No, I did. I did give you the number of 5, like the range. But yeah, so I didn't give you the actual paperwork.
Right. Okay. That's the part I was missing. So
regarding, yeah, so would love to hear what you're gonna what do you think, how, because you're working like internally with them, because I understand, like, see, the thing is that I face these challenges all the time, like with the especially when there is like multiple and the head is not like kind of understanding the value. That's why there is a pro.
Yeah. Why don't you
Right?
turn off the camera and see if the
Technically,
Eugene? Why
if
don't you
you
turn
would
off the
say, "Hey,
camera and see
Eugene,
if
if you lower it down to something like $3,000, I would say, okay, sure. So we can. Second, give me 1 second. I want to do one thing. Sure. Do you see me now?
yeah.
Yeah, it was probably my my VPN. Anyways, so what I was saying is that in terms of the monthly cost, from I've been actually talking with the team kind of about the project and the scope. Um, when we are like gonna deploy to, and as we discussed, it depends on the structure of the agent. It's like separate agents for each uh facility, or it's like the one unit agent. But I would say it's gonna be somewhere between probably, you know, $800 to $1,500 a month on like running the costs. So it's like one very low quality type of the employee receptionist is gonna handle it. So it's not a lot on the volume.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think that was really I should have anticipated he was going to ask me because in the current project that we have, which is just a simple like VAPI like solution, it when you break it out and then someone says, it's going to be $100 a month per location, if 200 locations, like for $20,000, like I can hire a call center in India or the Philippines for 1/10 of that and have people answer phones. So his point is that's too expensive. So not that that has anything bearing on this. I should have been proactive in when you and I were talking about what do you anticipate it would cost for this type of solution to run as opposed to just build. So if we had a budget of between 5 to 10K for building it, and then an ongoing fee, either straight to voice flow or a hybrid of having somebody babysit it and look after it, we could go from anywhere from on the low end $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And the reason I'm going a little higher is because I just don't want to pass through cost just to keep it on. Is that a fair
but
statement?
see, the thing is that we are not so. It could be like it all really depends on the amount of calls that um
Right.
because I have no idea like how many calls are we gonna get per location.
And I tell them that. You know what I mean? Like, this is not my first rodeo. This is me saying to them, we don't know what we don't know. We don't have a button that measures. I could get a 1-800 number and have somebody sit there at the desk and answer the phone and be like, hey, we get 7 calls a day. They average 10 minutes. We're going to need 70 minutes. Voice flow will cost X, right? I don't know that answer. So it's difficult for me to go to him.
Yeah, but I would say that um I would say you can say $2,000, and then because see, when we are talking about like 5,000, $10,000 a month, you're saying yeah, call center. But it's really, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be the cost, but even if it would, it's really not. It's, I wouldn't say it's gonna be better. So the thing is that he needs to see that. Like, this is the thing. So you need to pass it through. So that's why like we can objectively say it's going to be around like $2,000, but it's such a like random number
I know.
that you can pass. And now then, once he likes it, when everyone in the team likes it, like you'll be ready. Yeah, sure. Like more, awesome. Not more. So like, or let's wait for the cost to get down once we're like. But see, but we have already something tangible. That's why um this like at least what we usually are doing, because this is the best bet for them to see what it can look like, right? Yeah, that's why,
No,
you
no.
know.
Listen, I think I needed to, here in Canada and the U.S. I don't know if you have access, but these like Dragons Den Shark Tank shows.
Yeah.
Like he literally is saying to me, is I'm the guy who's heading up his technology, saying, "Here's what I want it to do. Here's how it's going to work." And then I didn't have that other piece, and he's like, "You're not doing a very good job of like Shark Tanking this or Dragons Denning this to me." And I'm like, I'm not trying to sell you the next. I'm trying to solve a pain point, and to convert on catering. Let's just say I need it to convert 10 times to pay off 5K. Like I really wouldn't have invested a lot of money, nor am I. I'm not I'm not asking him for $100,000 to go and build, the equivalent of VoiceFlow as a platform that
Yeah.
franchisees can log in. I'm like, I just want to pay an expert to get this up and running for a proof of concept. And then once I understand what it can do, then we have, but that's the part where I honestly failed. So it's on me. I should have seen it coming. It really was. I was just like, because he's already seeing the other solution, and then and then to give you an understanding, some stranger out of nowhere, because we're like a couple of $100 million business. Somebody just off the streets, like, hey, call this number and look at our chatbot solution, and they're probably using Synthflow or Vappy or one of those guys, and I'm just like, like I've gone out and tried to find the best in the business that can work on this platform, and like you didn't see the value. So I really have to go back. I have to create a better, clearer presentation. And so, the only other thing I can think of, and I know you guys have moved away from it, but is there a way to get a low end MVP built on something like N8N, on Node 8N, or whatever you pronounce it, and hack something together at a reasonably low cost that demonstrates its capabilities?
Let me ask this: what was the guys that pitched the Synthflow? He talked to this, or you talked to this? So what was the thing with it?
No, they just come at it. So this is literally just dealing with the frustrations of trying to bring things internally. So someone externally who then calls and puts in an email, and it'd be like you reaching out and saying, "Hi, I'm
Yeah,
a
I
fraud."
know. That's what we do. Like sometimes,
Yeah, it's just, and
but
so
I
the
mean,
email got through. He
okay,
called it, and
okay.
then he's like, "Oh, here's an opportunity. Go talk to these guys." And then I'm like, "But I've I've gone and investigated and brought you a solution. Like, why do I have to talk to those guys when I've presented a solution to you?" Maybe because it looks like they're already up and running and we're not building it. I don't really have an answer. It's why when you were like, "Hey, let's do a follow-up," I'm kind of like, it just didn't go the way. What I have to do is I have to build a 10-page pitch deck that goes, here's where it is, here's what it's going to do, here's why it's separate from the other thing, here's what the cost, and here's what my projected ongoing run rate to operate this thing. That's
So
what
let
I.
me ask you this. Let me ask you
Yep.
this because I know the pitch deck. So I'm totally on your page. I really want to get on the project, right? I'm ready to build you like to show him the demo. Okay, two questions. First, like I really need to see some money. Again, it's not about the money. It is from him. It's not from you. It's from him. So that he's like, okay, I paid these guys. Let me actually pay attention to what they did. So something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
And the second thing is, okay, so let's lower it down. Let's lower it down to $500. I'm okay with that. Like, sure, let's 100 or like 500,000 to, it doesn't matter. So let's do $500 if you can approve it. And the second question is, what do you think should be that, like, the flow of the conversation to make him say, wow, okay, you don't need the presentation. So what do you think should be like the type of the
Should be, it should ask a few key questions, which then shows that in the knowledge base, you could feed it specific table matrix on pricing, serving, because we're talking about catering, right? So I quickly build something for our internal team. Let me just put this, see my soccer score that I'm following in the background. All right, can you see that okay?
Yeah, I do.
So when we talk about what I'm trying to streamline is a person is asking for specific products and trays versus what they get, the unit price per, don't worry about food costs, that's for pricing, but how many can it feed for 10? And then trying to train the knowledge base or everybody so that,
We'll do that. We'll do that.
yeah,
So
this is
you,
what I'm saying. So you feed this to it and so the person says, hi, I need to feed 20 people. And it goes, oh, for 20 people, you get 20 wraps or you get 40 half wraps, a tray of rice, a tray of salad, or this is the part that I couldn't do when I was training the bot. It was giving me both. Like it was doing the math for like one section and the section. So really it wasn't giving you,
yeah, I get it. I get it.
it just presented $300 worth of food as opposed to what can you do for 150. It missed the either or kind of statement in it. So anyways, it does that. Then it asks for name, the date of the event, the location or where they are, the address, and the phone number. And then it really just needs to show in an email, like the output of it, or in the long term, it's not for a pilot, some form, as I've said, where there's a catering printable form, and then whatever it is that I've ordered appears there in some formatted checklist so that the person who receives the order, the location, knows what to make. So that's the bare minimum MVP. Recommend, confirm, take the name, date, email, and address, and then send it to our centralized area so that he can see it in a formatted email or just output. That's it. That's like, this is what it's going to do at the bare minimum, but on the much larger scale, where it needs to go is be able to recommend specific products, upsell. In a perfect world, it would contact the franchisee to make sure they have all the food there. Hey, you have a potential catering order for X. Can you complete that on said day? Then the franchisee goes, yes. And then it goes back and then it gives a confirmation. Maybe there's a payment processing. There's other phases that it can be done. But like, I know that if I spent enough time, Eugene, in NAN, don't even know how to pronounce it, voice flow, and ripped off a couple of template bots for lead gen, I could kind of hack it in and walk them through, like train the knowledge base enough that if I asked it the right questions in front of him, it would give me the right answers, like kind of cheat it. And then he'd be like, oh, I get it, right? But his point to me was, that's fine. Let's say you build the hack or the larger, like finished product, soup to nuts. It does everything we want it to do. His point to me was, what does it cost to maintain this? And that's the part that I didn't have the answer on the date for. So I appreciate you offering to build things at a very low cost, but that's essentially what I would kind of hack together to try and get him further down the process of, otherwise he's going to pay somebody to, sorry, let me just go to, hey, my team scored.
Yeah. Okay.
Per sec, right? So this is a multi-billion-dollar.
Yeah, I know Chipotle. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So like catering. So this 1-800 number calls the bot, tells them what it is, and then here, look, burritos by the box. So you can go, like, this is, for a multi-billion-dollar company, this is really not that exciting. Build your own chips and dips, blah, blah, blah. Switch to group order. Forget that part. Like, it needs to have talk to us now, bot comes up, or we have something like this call here. We have, I don't know if VoiceFlow enables you to embed, very much like
Yeah,
Google.
of course. It
It's
does.
like, tell us what you would like. And the person goes, I need catering for 30 people on, May 1st. Like having an open-ended and kind of guiding them through the conversation. Any one of those phases gets us further than where we are right now, which is nowhere. This is where the previous regime, look, there's not even a catering button up here. You got to go all the way down. In fact, it's not even on here. This is why we're not getting any bit. Here it is. So now here's somebody who in marketing tasks a WordPress person to order combo 2. So here is the interactive nature of these, right? So you feed the bot this, fine. This is just completely pointless. And now it says find a location. So now the user goes and they say, I am in Halifax in the Maritimes. And now I have this banner. It has nothing to do. And now I'm back to picking up the phone and calling. And then
Okay. So let me tell you this.
that person, just to finish the picture for you, Eugene, then that person who doesn't speak English is going to go like this and pretend my screen is the POS and be like, what would you like? This whole restaurant is buzzing. And then they're going to use some and try and figure out it doesn't work. It needs to be a separate agent system. That's why a multi-billion-dollar company is doing it this way and not downloading it onto the franchisee to do it. Like, it's not rocket science.
Okay. So let's do this. If you usually I don't do that, but okay. So if you promise me to try to pitch him this as good as you can, next week we'll do it for free. Like I mean, I I have a team member, so I'll ask my guys to come up with the thing. So send me this Excel spreadsheet. We'll use that you showed me. So we'll use this as a part of the knowledge base. We'll configure the flow, and I will create a few minute loop of me talking with this bot through the phone, picking up the phone, and also we will embed this on your website through, I mean, it's gonna be like on the website like bot, but it's gonna be external, so like through inspect element, so not through the
Right.
so he can literally see the picture, how it's gonna look on the website
Yeah.
and on the phone. Now, regarding, and you come to them and say 5 minutes, like, take a look at this video. This is the best that you can get from the best guys in the industry. Here is the proofs that they are the best. They are like whatever. And now, regarding the cost, voice is on the higher side. What I was thinking when you were showing me and back into the Chipotle, um, if we really would want to lower down the costs, what we can do, we can fake human chat. We can build the bot that will, no way anyone will think that it's AI. We'll like program the delays, multiple messages. It's hard. It's not the chat. It's a bit different thing on
I
the
know what you
program.
mean. A
Uh,
robot can answer like this, human beings would have, so you're going to mimic the stall stammers and the
but
pause.
also what we are, and this is, we are, I'm actually showing it on the YouTube. We are the only guys right now in the space that are doing that, just because there's a third layer. User can send multiple messages, because like if you picture how people speak, they say, hey John, I have a question. How about like, do you have this? It's like separate messages. The frameworks are not programmed right now to, they get one message back. Anyways, so, and this thing will cost like $1,000 or like $500 a month to run on text, on all of the websites, on all of the locations, subdomains, anything.
Right.
So this will be probably the first production iteration, probably before the voice. And it will handle like certain amount of requests. And now the voice will be more expensive. So there are multiple options. You will present the price, you'll present the video, and yeah, I mean, yes, sure, I'm like risking investing the time into it, but I see that you're motivated, you want to get it done, so I'm ready.
I I am telling the company, the industry. So on Monday, I'm on a panel at the Canadian Restaurant Show. So this would be, it's the only one in Canada. There's, 10, 20,000 people will come through it over 3 days. So I'm on that panel. I'll send you, and they're going to be asking me questions about AI, where the future of AI, the things that we're building. And so, again, I was desperate that I wasn't coming back to today's conversation because I think it's such a drop in the bucket. But again, as you know, with trying to sell upwards with some, people, they don't always get it, like, and I was absolutely convinced he would. Do you have any other pricing for the voice billing? Like if I'm on voice flows, like do they give you some kind of deal on this? Because this doesn't really tell me anything about how much it's going to cost to run it, right?
Yeah, with the voice though, so the thing is that we would not probably use voice though for the voice
Yeah.
for now in the month. I am talking with them and with Brandon. They're like, right, because there are a few features lacking a lot that cannot be used in production, like the post-call webhook processing. They're gonna add it. Now, on the cost, it probably gonna be a bit lower than all other guys. So I mean, yeah. So like, we we would need to think about this. I would say that for you to make it simple, you would say, hey, um, yeah, sure. So this, like the voice thing, will probably cost, somewhere between 1,500 to 30. Let's say 30, just like 30, not 30,000, $3,000 in the ballpark or a month. Now, but if we deploy through text and SMS, so as a chat and SMS, we can lower it down to $1,000 and like really be like human, because in reality, it might be even better. Like on the user experience, I know that people want to call, but if we think about this, they might want to think it's more accurate. There are like you can like do a
No,
lot of.
no, I hear you. I don't know the full answer, but I know where you're going. And the reason I know this, in a previous life, I was in the merchandise branding space, running digital marketing for them. And I know for a fact that people were calling to kick the tires, to understand what it could be. They weren't ready to commit. And I think having an AI agent that is primarily chat allows you to get information instantly, but also enables you to have a bit of distance because I'm not committing to a phone call. There will be people out there, maybe not young people, but 40-year-old women, office managers, they'll pick up the phone every time and be like, I want to hear somebody because I'm about to give you an order for $3,000 worth of
Of
food for
course,
my
yeah.
corporate event, and I want to know that it's not going to be not delivered, right? So yeah, this is where, I'm on Synthflow. Again, I don't know if you guys build this, but they're like 8 cents a minute if you're at an enterprise level. I'm just trying to do the math on the highest end. Like, these are the numbers, and we don't know what we don't know. So I'm not going to hold anybody, but I'm just going to do the math on this, on what this enterprise pricing costs. Like $800 a month. Like, I don't
Uh,
even know why I'm being charged $20,000 a month.
yeah, so like you can, yeah, it's really hard. I would say that um you can, for example, like one of the like bills that I'm looking at right now. So we have zero, so 8 cents. Yeah. So you said 80 or 8?
8 cents.
Yeah. So 8 cents. Now we can plan probably for 6, depending again on the model. So yeah, probably the 6 cents is something that we can calculate. But now again, so it's like how many minutes? You said like 10. Probably not going to be 10, but so there are optimizations. See, my I know where you're going. Like you're trying to give them realistic number that because they will say, "Hey, you said it's 2,000, now it's like 10, right?"
Yeah,
But
like, yeah,
you will.
the problem was that with the pilot, everybody was like, "Oh, it's amazing," and then when the price came down, they're like, "Whoa, hey, I can't
How they
afford that."
calculate the price? How they calculate the price? Like
I don't know. To be honest, I kept saying to them, "You're not a 20, like." I said to him, if you're going to charge $100 a location, so they're just seeing dollar signs, right? A developer. And I'm like, you would have to do from this application $2,000 to $5,000 a month in sales. And you'd have to quantify and qualify that your agent put the sale through. Otherwise, they'll be like, you know what? If that kid doesn't answer the phone, I'm not out $100. I could argue you might be out tens and thousands of dollars of catering, right? So
so, let me ask this. Let's say 200 locations. Do you have a bulk number? Like again, if you guess, like how many calls we have a day? Like
yeah,
five,
like I
10,
did this.
like what?
Yeah, I think, yeah, between 5 and 10 per location a day is
Okay,
pretty accurate.
5. So it's probably gonna be uh 5 times 200.
200. Yeah.
So it's like 1,000 times 30, 30,000. 30,000. So it's
At 8 cents
cold.
a minute, what's that work out to?
And it's if it's 30,000 uh but 0.07. Yeah, it's $2,000 if each conversation is about a minute. So now if we go back to 2 minutes, it's probably going to be 4,000. If it's going to be 3 minutes, it's going to be 6,000. Now, if we so there is no way it's gonna go above 10. Like there is no way it's gonna go above 10. Now, obviously, like if we think about our margins, right? So we would need to pick our margins. So now like I would really push the fact that we need to merge. Like we need to merge the solution with the text, just because it's better user experience. Maybe the confirmation. I'm not sure how it's done. I mean, I know how it's done. I've been living in the US, but like for example, in there's like the thing in Europe, and especially where I'm from, like Belarus. So this is the thing when like you're making an order, right? And they're like confirming the order through their voice. So they're like they're calling you to confirm it. But it's usually on their side because they are not charging the money for it. It's like you're ordering, but you're not paying. You're not paying through the app. You're like paying for whatever. Like you're just ordering. Anyways, so there's what I'm saying is that maybe, hey, this is the like tax this number, like and taxed as. So now we are merging with the text when the order is confirmed. Say, okay, let us give you a call in the actual agent is calling and say, hey Julia, just want to confirm like your order, is going to be delivered this time. Do you want to make some modifications? Yes. So now what we're doing, we're lowering the cost, not lowering the cost per minute, but lowering the total amount of minutes. So yeah, and this is kind of the thing. So you can, I would say that you can realistically tell them that it's going to be for sure below $5,000. And then, but let's not.
That's the problem. There you go. That is exactly, because you're like, and then the moment I did that, he was like, because if we took $5,000 a month, so you're getting a little bit of money, we built a solution, it's making money. And I always say this to restaurant owners: if we built you a solution and it cost you $20,000 a year, whatever, five times, yeah, 60,000, but it made you 3-4 million in catering, literally could place an order and send it and get confirmed. Like, what do you care, right? Like, that return on this investment is through the roof, and I'm solving a pain point. They don't think that way. He's thinking, I'm just doing the math for you, 5,000 divided by, we have 200, we have another 30 locations coming this year.
Okay.
So it's $25 a month. He's trying to figure out a way that we can stand in front of the franchisee and say, we've got a new AI phone system. It does X, Y, and Z, and it can handle catering and do all of this. You never have to touch the phone. It's going to cost you. That's what he needs. I can't. He's like,
But
why?
are you gonna wait? Are you gonna now? It's a different story. Just because is he gonna pass it to the franchisees? Because like if we're saying like $5,000, it's a month. It's a bit different rather than if we go, let's say 5,000 divided by 200. If you say for the franchisee, it's gonna cost $50 a month.
So I mean,
so do you think? Okay, now let me ask you the question, because you know him. Like, so I know we're like ball guessing right now, but so if next week, whatever, so Monday, Tuesday, I'm sending you the Loom, right? So like a presentation. Hey guys, let me give you a call. Like, let me give it a call, text. Now it's 5 minute done. You come to them and say, hey, this is the thing. It's gonna cost $50 per franchisee, which it's a good position. I like it. So $50, like you can say 25, but like 20, say 50, like $50 per franchisee, and $20,000 in the development. Are we in or we're not? So like, is this gonna be the? It sounds like a Shark Tank thing.
Yeah, again, then I would backtrack it and be like, if you just followed my thing, and let's just say your number was between 5 and 10 for the application as opposed to 20, he could have figured out before we got to a higher development cost and like we could have done this on the what I want to do, which is the low end. We can always test and reiterate and come back to you and say, okay, here's what we're seeing. It's not converting. We need another 10, 20, 50 hours of investment. Okay, we build that out. Let's just make the math easy. I don't know, but $100 an hour in dev costs. Okay, right? But it that is how I would have approached it and how I build anything from an MVP standpoint. Get me to market, let's start testing, and let's find out where it breaks. He's thinking you're going to come with the most perfect solution, and I need to know how I'm going to resell it cost wise to my franchisees. And is there room to mark it up? Because that is the benefit of being the franchisor. Give you an idea, when payments come through, they get money. When they sell the chicken, they get money. They're all rebates, right? That's how you get multi-million dollar rich, when you own the brand. So that's why I keep coming back. I would rather not give you 20,000 out of the gate to build the world's most perfect, when I don't even know if I would rather do it on the low end and work out a deal where you're making some money. There's going to be minutes left over. We work out something to quote unquote manage it, and then leave us room to upsell it to justify. Now, he may not take $25, he might do 10 or 5, but something to guarantee that um, you know, I am engaged and we're making money. So if you think let's just say I gave you $5,000 to build the MVP, right? But at this point, it's a little more than just. And then we said to him, it's going to cost $25, our cost to the franchisee. Like, and then you might say to me, okay, we want $1,000 a month to manage this. Doesn't matter how many locations. So you get paid, but you don't, you're not managing all the way up. Because at this point, this is
But you should not plan, like, honestly, you should not plan for it. Like, remember, going back to the very first conversation, I'm trying to be like, the only reason, I'm being honest, the only reason why we're like speaking and I'm like ready to build you something for free. I mean, I'm not like approaching you through the cold outreach. Like, you approach
I
me
reached
basically.
out to you.
So, and I have case studies, and so I'm not like craving for the clients. What I'm saying is that I want to work with you guys because there is a potential for the Chipotle. Probably not gonna like sell it to them, but there is a potential. So it's not now. It's gonna cost about, that's what I said, 20. So I said 5,000 for the MVP, then about 12,000. So in total, so it's about plus 7 to actually deploy it, and it's still the MVP process. The reason for it is that now we need to like justify what is the MVP, because when we're deploying to multiple locations, it's a whole nother story. It's the management.
No. Yeah. I get
But
it.
so why I was saying $20,000. So this is, the price that we usually charge for a big, development project. And if they are thinking in terms of the numbers, right? And if we are talking about, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, I mean, this is so.
It's not hundreds of millions, but if we were to do 10% in catering through this application, and that's high, on the highest end, that's $26 million in sales. So if we were to do 1%, it's 2.6 million. That should be the benchmark for this application being able to push along, qualify. It may require a human element to call in. That's the part I don't know. But what I know is when if I was to flip back the sharing, that landing page, which somebody else built before my time, is not converting at all. It's not converting. Like I could probably build a web form for a couple of $100 and do better than what that piece of junk is. I'm sending traffic to that and it's nowhere. So I'm shooting for the stars because I have a passion for this and I want to be first to market and I want to work with guys like you. And, my boss, he's only 30 years old. So he's, almost half my age. He's
So,
just not seeing the bigger picture of
but
how we get to market and how we test. He's thinking like a franchisor rather than a tech development, which is what this is trying to be. So if I go back to him and say, I think we're going to net out to about $25 a location, do you think that is a reasonable assuming? Let's just say I gave you $25,000 to build this, the full soup to nuts. If we were to deploy it, could you see, so there's a central one, which I showed you, the Chipotle, but then if you were to package that agent up and deploy it on every single phone number, that's where does it go through the roof, and $25 is a pipe dream for each location.
yeah.
He's thinking 6 steps ahead, and that's why he's preventing us from doing what we're trying to do.
So I think, again, yeah, I'm not sure, just because I want to make sure that we're in the same page, because I want to invest,
I
our
get it.
time
I
without
appreciate it.
charging you anything. So the idea is that you don't say anything for now. Nothing. We are done with the prototype. Literally show. And I'm telling, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So that's why we like to embed it on the website, because it's gonna be a red colors. It's gonna be like it's the real thing. He's gonna probably ask you if you deployed it like yourself on the website already. So and we can even change the phone number on the website to like whatever. So we will like do something cool. And we'll say, hey, this thing, $20,000 and $25 per location, 2 months development, in or not. So that's it. So it's gonna be easier for him, and now he will calculate. Okay, so $25 per location. That's nothing. $25,000. Okay, hard to justify, but he will see the actual result. So this is because when you start, no, it's 5,000 MVP, and now we deploy and see and test. This is the development process that he may not understand. We will I'm not gonna charge you upfront $25,000 or $20,000. So obviously it's gonna be iterations, but just in bulk picture, because he's planning to the budget, sure, say not 20, let's say $50 per location to get the margins up. So do you feel like it's the
Yeah. My colleague's stuck in the snow. I'm just going to get one of my IT guys to go help her. 1 second.
sure?
Gordon, do you mind? I'm on a call. I've got mine in there. If you want to have it. Oh, you got one in your phone? Yeah, I did. Thanks. She's messaging me. She's saying SOS. Apologies.
You
My
guys still have
yeah.
snow?
Oh, dude, it's like, yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy out there today. So it's always like a guess of like, when do you take your snow tires off? But like, I don't know if you're going to see that on camera, but that's what I took a picture for my wife.
That's cool.
Yeah. So So it's always a guessing point for like, do you take your snow tires off, in April, or there's always one last Mother Nature kicking us in Canada. And is this it? Or is there one more, Eugene, where it's like, hey, just a reminder, this is where you live, boom. And then, yeah. So, all right, sorry. She was panicking there. So I don't want you to build anything for free for your time. So if we did $500 to get this sort of MVP prototype, or is this literally you're just faking things visually to
I
kind
want
of,
to build to show you next week. And
yeah,
if you can approve $500 today, I mean, okay,
yeah,
but I think it's gonna take you like another week. So that's why I would say, yeah. So I would say I just want you to show it to you like Monday.
okay. Show me Monday. Don't go crazy. I know you guys can probably recycle something. I'll send you this thing, and if you can give us something to show, I'll be thrilled. And then what I would say to him is at the top end using 8 cents for a conversational agent, because if it's the chat widget, there's no real costs, right? After you deploy it, or do you have to
No,
pay?
there is still on the talkings, but it's like
I'm talking chat, not voice.
yeah, still chat like because you're paying on the talking usage when you're like
Oh,
going
token
back,
usage.
but
Sorry. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's not a lot,
Like, what do you think?
like $500.
Okay. That's what we need. So I'm going to send you that. You send me some guidelines back of that. Hey, we just need some outline so that we can go, so he can go, okay. The part he missed was the centralization, and I have to do what I did for you, but like literally get him in a room and, politely. He's just got one of those personalities. Like, if you don't think about anything else, just think about this. This is what I want to do. This is how it's going to solve this pain point. If we get 10 conversions a month at X amount, this will pay for itself in X. But like the one I have deployed now, which is a very basic conversational agent that I built, like it can't do anything other than send you to a web page, right? It um like it's not showing me conversions. It's just sending people to that crappy page.
Can you
So
please send me right now the CSV? I want to look at this myself.
yeah, I just need to change the because I just hacked this together. The numbers aren't right, but you don't care, right? So we can always update it. So I'll just send you that.
Yeah, you have my email. I send you the
Yep.
reminder. So okay, now the question that I was asked. So here's what how it's gonna be. We'll create it. I'll create a loom, the video, and at the end of the loom, I'll give the price. Like I will give an understanding how much it's gonna cost. So I'll say like this is the number on the one time. This is the monthly cost so that again it's easier for you. You don't need to build 10 pages. You show our video and then you say okay, now let me add like explain why it justifies the cost. So Eugene said it's going to be x amount of money, and this is why it is good for us, so that you do not need to calculate and guess how much we're going to like charge. So we'll simplify the process for you. I believe in your uh, ability to communicate it through, and we can build a really good thing.
Cool. All right, I sent it off to you. Thank you, Gene. Let me know next steps. If you need anything, reach out.
Wait, let me check it. If I got it, because I want to. Okay, so I was about to ask like regarding calculations since okay, so let's say how many people you're like planning to serve there. So it's like it's, let's say it's 50 people, and we have a full tray salad, right? So full tray salad, is it like these are okay, so price per unit.
Ignore the price per unit. Those are off. I was, yeah, maybe I should fill this back in. Should be like $3. Sorry. I forgot I got to do this. I'll update this and send it over to you, but that's not correct.
Yeah,
I was
and
doing the pricing. I got ahead of myself before I talked to you. I'll calculate it properly and then you can do it backwards.
And so let's say there is a price per unit, right? So, and if we are ordering a full tray salad, right, for $32, right?
Yes.
We're then, give me a second, I'll share this one. So if we are ordering this, right? So this is, let's say 32. What do we multiply if we have 50 people? What is the 3? What is this?
I just was starting to backfill the numbers, so I need to go in and do this. So let me go and do this properly and then resend it. Ignore this. I was just using it for placeholder. So now that I was
And so
remembering,
we basically, like they say a rice, how many people, and then salad, and we we add each one together, right? So it's like 30 rice, so like half tray rice for 30 people.
basically the bot would be able to go, if I have 48 people, I need to provide the quantity for technically 50. You know what I mean? Like it needs
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of logic to kind of always have a little bit of a remainder so that it's never under. But in an ideal world, it's like I need to feed 48 people, and then it could calculate this. So don't ignore this. I forgot that I was halfway through pricing this out. I was building it. You know, it's really like building packages at a per unit. In an ideal world, you could break this down. Now, you're never doing catering for one, so it needs to start at 10. 10 is when, we can feed 9, 8 people in restaurant, you're not getting any discounts. It's when you go higher than that, then we move to this larger tray system and it starts to work out. So that's why I'm like, I'm
Okay.
ahead of the game from, moving from this model of like these packages, which are difficult for our customers to kind of put together, and moving to this model. So um, I need to do the calculations so that when you feed this to the knowledge base, it can quickly do the math based on that so that I'm basically training it. Like if it had 10 or 20, 30, 40, 50 people, it would arrive at the 50 column, right?
And so, because like essentially, if we have 50 people and they say we need, fries and salad and rice for each, it's gonna, it's gonna
It
multiply.
might need 3, so it would be 20 people times 2.5, which gets you closer to,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like how many quantities of trays do you need to provide?
Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Okay, awesome. So, please send me, because I want
Yeah, yeah.
to set the task today to my team. So send it to me as soon as you can, and
Yep.
we'll go from there. So we'll follow up with you. Um, Probably the weekends, just probably like share some things. Um, and yeah, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. I'll be in touch. Clean it up and you're good.
Yeah, appreciate you sharing everything, and yeah, you have a great one.
Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Yeah, take care.
Okay, so here is what we're thinking when it comes to the demo development. By the way, when you're watching the video, it's probably been already done. You know the rule that I mentioned in the very beginning of the video. If you put 120 likes, one of the next video will be the live walkthrough of the system of each and every step. Now, we have a user request who is requesting a catering for a certain amount of people. we have 3 channels: the voice, the web chat, and the SMS. The web chat being the chatbot deployed on the website, right? So the voice gonna be connected to like Twilio number, and the Twilio number will be connected to one prompt. And by the way, one prompt again is our own software suite that you can get access to, link in the description. So we have 6 ready to sell solutions here, and we are going to use the 2 of them for this, for our own project, the omnichannel agent and the inbound voice AI agent. We're going to group them together. Basically, so the user request is coming through the voice or through the web chat or through the SMS. It will all route them to the one prompt. So the one prompt will be like a hub where everything is stored. And as I already said, we are gonna deploy the web chat through the advanced chat option. Since the one prompt is a white labeled version of high level, here you obviously do have a chat widget that is, by the way, connected live to the omni-channel solution that we have already built in. But the problem with this specific widget is that it's not good enough. That's why sometimes, like if you're trying to mimic human behavior, it's really good, but if we need to display buttons, it's not there all the time. That's why we are probably going to use the advanced option, the advanced widget option, where we can deploy the intercom type of the widget, where we can have additional analytics. So if you look closely, it is fully embedded inside the one prompt. So you have 2 different interfaces. So it's like an interface within the interface. And for the client, right? So this is very important. Now, so let's say all the requests are coming there. And on the backend, so we are using the voice flow as the engine, right? So where the logic and the knowledge base will be. For the voice, you might ask, hey, Eugene, but what you're going to do with the voice? As I said on the sales call, for the demo, we're going to use retail, I'm sure. But for the production version, VoiceFlow is actively looking on the voice capabilities. It's not there yet. It's missing a few features. I'm like talking to the team. They are probably going to add it in the next few weeks, maybe month. So if we start the production version as soon as we can, so it depends. But like the ideal scenario, we'll have the voice flow that holds everything, the voice and text-based interactions. But even if it does not, inside the one prompt, we have a unified memory. And the unified memory allows us to store the conversation history between inbound voice agents, right? And basically here, the inbound agent is actually built on the retail. And after the call has been done, we're processing the information through the one prompt. And here you can see that we are like doing some manipulations back and forth, trying to save the transcript as a part of the unified memory. So now the same thing is going to happen through the SMS and the web chat, just because the conversation, again, is handled by the voice flow, but deployed through the omnichannel agent inside the one prompt. And because like we have the trigger, for example, here for the SMS, we're gonna change it to the live chat, and like we're gonna put the 2 triggers that are like capturing all the messages and storing them in one thing. Anyways, so the idea is that the engine gonna be on the voice flow or retail, all the history will be in one prompt anyways. So we are generating the reply to the user, then we're displaying this reply and going back. As I was mentioning on the sales call, we might want, so depending on the cost, we might want to start with the text channels first, either the web chat or the SMS, and then do the follow-up call, which is the outbound call from the voice. So now this, let's say this is the loop, right? So this one will be the loop. We're saving all the information inside one prompt, and when a certain stage is achieved, like when the order should be confirmed, we are making the call through the voice, through the Twilio number, through, let's say, retail, as the outbound call, trying to confirm the details, and this way saving the cost. But again, since we have the unified memory, this specific call, either done through voice call or retail, not sure yet, will have all the details about the order, as well as all the messages that the user sent to one of our agents through one of our channels here. Okay, I hope it will give you some ideas. Again, 120 likes, I will show you guys it live, and you have a good one. Thanks.